In an earlier video that I made here, I said that the 2012 Republican primary would be a vote probably based between Mitt Romney and Sarah Palin, if Sarah Palin decides to run, which I would say is about a 50% chance, whereas Romney is already really in the running. He all but announced that he is a candidate. News broke today that Sarah Palin's daughter, Bristol, will be marrying her Palin's grandson's father. um, Whatever, I really just don't care that much. But it got me thinking about Palin, and because I was listening to the John Gibson show on the radio, and they were talking about it on there, um, and I was wondering, you know, some on the right believe that Palin is amazing, a rock star, and that she relates with ordinary people. The only reason those on the right, some on the right, and I am not one of them, I'm not a Palin fan or supporter. I think that she probably did more harm than good for the McCain campaign in 2008. She might have helped get social conservatives out, but she alienated independent voters who might have voted for a McCain ticket. And with having a conservative running mate like a Romney or a Jindal, the socially conservative base would have also voted for that, especially in the case of Jindal, for that candidate. Anyway, but I want to remind you of something else. Right now, the way I feel right now about Palin is I think that she is almost as bad as Barack Obama. And I'm going to explain exactly why. He was elected based on misinformation and good speeches. Now, I don't understand why anybody would like Palin based on her speeches. Okay, she cannot make a speech for her life. She's a terrible speech giver. And furthermore, I don't know why the Tea Party movement lets her in, because the Tea Party is supposed to be rallying against federal deficits. But in Alaska, Palin increased the rate of government spending by 30% in a conservative state where she could have easily cut spending. It wasn't like she ran Massachusetts or California. And then you go back to Romney, who spending did go up as a percentage when he was governor. It went up, I believe, somewhere around 2.8%. But he also left the state with a surplus after inheriting a deficit, and he did it without a broad-based tax increase. You could argue with me over fees, fine, but he didn't sign a broad-based tax increase. You could argue with me over fees. You could argue with me over his health care plan, which was not a government-run plan. But that aside, taking a look, spending down the line. Romney in Massachusetts, spending went up 2.8%. Palin spending went up in conservative Alaska by 30%. You do it's only common sense to note that Romney is much farther to the right of Palin when it comes to economic and fiscal issues. She might be farther to the right on social issues. She is, in fact, in a sense, because now she also did ignore the issue of abortion as governor. Um, Really kind of, I know that she's pro-life in her personal life, but she didn't do anything about it as governor of Alaska. She didn't take a strong stance. She refused to even talk about it in that state. But my main issue with Sarah Palin is not the fact that I think that she is a stupid person, which I do believe she is. It has nothing to do with the fact that I believe that she is too conservative for the Republican Party, because I actually think she's too liberal for the Republican Party because of what I'm about to say. And that is, I think that it is a very corrupted system up in Alaska, that some of the oil proceeds go back to the citizens. If Barack Obama wanted to take money from the oil companies and give them to people, those on the right, my colleagues on the right, would call him a socialist. And that would be accurate, because I believe that the redistribution of wealth is a socialist belief. Well, Palin took office, and Alaska already had that situation. But she increased tax rates on oil to oil companies. That was a job-killing tax hike. And I would say that that is, in effect, endorsing the socialist philosophy, which Palin, despite speaking out against, is really more a part of when she was actually in government. I don't think that she would be an electable nominee. I don't think she even has any credibility, frankly. She has very little. She does not, she appeals to ordinary people. Deep down, ordinary people like her because they think that she is on the same intelligence level. The truth of the matter is most ordinary people in this country are much smarter than Sarah Palin. It's not even a close contest. I mean, she is probably, I mean, she ranks right up there with, you know, she's right up there with Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid as being, one of the dumbest politicians in the country. And yes, that is something from a right winger like myself to say that she is compare her to Reid and Pelosi. That's how strongly I feel, and I really don't like Reid and Pelosi. And I don't think she's as I think that she is basically the Republican version of Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, and that is troubling. And let me just say one more thing. I think that whoever wins the Republican nomination in 2012 has to represent the Republican wing of the Republican Party. Palin represents the social conservative wing, yes, but she does not represent the fiscally and foreign policy conservative wing of the party as Romney does, or perhaps somebody else. But Romney right now looks to be representing those two aspects of the party. So I think it's important that we have somebody who represents the Republican wing of the Republican Party. And that's why I don't think Palin would be an acceptable nominee.